Hi friends, I'm back again and I am welcoming you all to this new class. Let us learn a new topic today, and it is about natural vegetation and wildlife. Natural vegetation and wildlife. Natural vegetation means it is the trees, the plants that are growing on this earth. Then the wildlife means the wild animals that are growing mostly in the forest. So both the forest as well as the animals that are growing there, we shall study under the same topic. You can follow in your textbook page number 17. So some children were visiting, so we shall see about the story of some children, about their experience and so on. So children were visiting an exhibition on handicrafts. So they are visiting a house where handicraft things are kept there. Things made of hands and with a lot of decorations and so on. The articles in the exhibition were collected from different parts of the country. So people in different places, they were making these things, and it was collected from all the people from different parts of the country, and it was kept in this place as an exhibition. And Mona picked up a bag and a slate. So the child, the student Mona, he picked up one bag and said, "This is a beautiful handbag." So it is a handbag made by someone, and the child liked it so much. "Yes, it is made from jute," the teacher said. And the teacher said, "This bag is made from jute." "Do you see those baskets, lampshades and chairs?" And the teacher is showing. You see, there are so many things are there. What are they? Baskets are there. Then lampshades are there. And chairs are there. Those are made of canes and bamboos. So those things, chairs, lampshades and baskets, they are all made with cane or bamboos. In the eastern and northeastern humid regions of India, bamboo grows in plenty. So the teacher told them, in the northern part of India and also in the northeast, the area is humid. A lot of humidity is there, and therefore bamboo is growing very well in this region. So people living in this region make use of this bamboo in order to make a lot of handicraft items like baskets, chairs and so on. Then Jasim was excited to see a silk scarf. Another student, Jasim, she picked up a silk scarf that is like a muffler, we can say, for putting on the head. Girls are putting it on their heads. So the teacher explained that silk is obtained from silkworms and are bred on mulberry trees. So the teacher told, the scarf that you are taking, the cloth that you are taking, that's silk, that is made of silk, and this silk is coming from silkworms, and these worms are fed on mulberry trees. Mulberry leaves are given as a food for the silkworms, and in turn we get silk from these worms. The children understood that plants provide us with many different products that we use in our day-to-day life. So whatever children saw in that exhibition center, they understood that all these things are there. It is coming from the nature. It is made of things that are from the nature. And natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere that we call biosphere. So where these trees are growing, that's a very narrow zone. So the earth is there. So the earth is there, the globe is there, and only this top part we find this where the trees are growing, where the animals are growing. It's a very narrow zone. So above us, what is there? Above the earth, we call it hydrosphere is there, then atmosphere is there. So hydrosphere is the sphere of water, atmosphere is above the atmosphere, then lithosphere is the bottom level. So these are together we find the lithosphere, that is the top of the earth, and the hydrosphere is the water field, and the atmosphere is above the air, and so on. So in all these three spheres we call it biosphere. Biosphere means where life is found. So between water, the land and the air we call it the area where we find life. If you go too high, we will not find life in the air. Above the oxygen level if you go, we will not find life there. Birds will not be flying very high above the air level, above the hydrosphere. Then they will not be able to get air, they will die. And below the earth also, the animals cannot live under the soil. On top layer, some animals will be living, but not too deep. They cannot survive there. So the area where these people are, or the life is found, the top layer, that is called biosphere. So which are the other spheres surrounding this biosphere? Hydrosphere, lithosphere and atmosphere. These three spheres are surrounding this biosphere. Bio means life, where life is found. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. So in this biosphere, there are a lot of animals are there, lot of trees are there. So they are depending on each other. They cannot survive alone. If they want to survive, then they have to depend on each other. That is what they need to do. Otherwise, they cannot survive. So this life supporting system is known as ecosystem. So the life, we said, they are depending on each other. The living beings are depending on each other. The trees, the animals, they are all depending on each other. That is how the life is supported there. So that is called ecosystem, where these living beings are depending on each other and staying in this biosphere. So all this together, the animals, the plants, everything is called together the ecosystem. So what are the things involved in the ecosystem? The living beings are there, the animals, the plants, the animals or the living beings in the water, the air, all these together it is called the ecosystem. Then vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. So for us, we may think that only human beings are more important, but the fact is that the wildlife and the natural vegetation, that is all very important for our survival. They are very valuable resources, very useful for us. Then plants provide us with timber. Let's see, we said they are very useful, very valuable products, resources, and we know from the timber we get, from the forest we get timber. Timber means the wood for making house, for furniture, and so we need lot of wood. So this wood we are getting from these plants, from the trees. Then they give shelter to animals. If just imagine in the forest, if trees are not there, where will the wild animals take shelter? So most of them are taking shelter under the trees. So if these trees are not there, they will be roaming around here and there, destroying the human habitations and so on. So these trees are providing shelter to the animals. Then they provide oxygen that we breathe. So that is a very important thing. Because of human activities, lot of carbon dioxide is produced and the amount of oxygen is becoming less and less. So it is the trees that are regulating the amount of oxygen. They are using carbon dioxide and sending out oxygen. That is how we breathe. So more trees are there means we get more fresh air, we get more oxygen. Otherwise we will be breathing carbon dioxide and we will be dying soon. So trees are very much important for our survival. Then protect soil, so essential for growing crops. Another thing that the trees are doing is they protect the soil. They prevent the soil erosion with their roots. They hold the root very tight on the soil and the soil remains firm. So if the soils are washed away, then we will not be able to cultivate properly, we will not be able to get good harvest and so on. So these trees are making us to protect the soil, helping us to protect the soil and giving us to cultivate good soil. Then they act as a shelter belt. Again, the trees, if we are planting in a line along the boundary in a slopy place, then the trees will protect the soil from being washed away, especially when there is rain in the slopy place. The mud is washed away because of the force of the water. But if trees are standing there, then these trees will protect this soil, hold tight, and also it will block the winds. Sometimes soil erosion is taking place because of the wind. The strong wind comes, you can see if there is a loose mud, all the mud will be flying in the air. When a vehicle is going on the road, we can see how much dust is flying on the road. So if there is a strong wind, the same thing, mud is flying away along with the wind and it will be moved to another place. But if trees are there, then it can control the wind, the speed of the wind and protect the soil and so on. Then another thing that the trees doing for us is, it is storage of underground water. It is helping us to have water storage under the ground. If these trees are not there, all that area will be very dry and water will not remain under the earth. But the place where trees are growing, we find the soil is wet. It is moisture soil and it is wet soil. So that means under the earth there is water. So it is giving us fruits. Another thing that the trees are doing for us is it is giving us fruits. Then nuts, latex means one kind of gum like the liquid that is coming out from the tree. For example, you might have seen a rubber trees. If you cut the skin little bit, you will find one kind of white liquid is coming out. That is called latex. So there are many trees are there producing latex, which will be used for making so many things. Then turpentine oil. So we get one kind of oil, turpentine oil. It is good for massaging the body to cure the body pain and so on. Then we get gum, then medicinal plants, and also the paper that is so essential for your studies. So we also get a lot of medicinal plants from the forest, and also we get a lot of cheap wood for producing paper. So remember how much of books and textbooks and notebooks are printed every year in our locality, in our school or in our country. All that is meant for helping us. So if these trees are not there, then we will not be able to produce all these papers. We will be really missing all those things in our studies. So we are really fortunate that we have such a forest, useful forest, natural vegetation is there, which is helping us a lot. Then now let us see about the wildlife. The wildlife, the animals in the forest. So wildlife includes birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. So the animal, whether it is small or big, it is all called wildlife. It may be a small earthworm that is found in the jungle, that is also wildlife. The birds, the fish in the sea, they are all wildlife. And they provide us milk. So these animals provide us milk. All the animals are not providing milk for us, but cows, buffaloes, goats, all these are animals providing milk for us. Then they provide meat. Some of the animals are killed and eaten. They are giving us meat. Then some are providing us hides and wool. Hides means skin. We know there are a lot of things made of animal skin, like shoes, bag, and so on. A lot of items are made with the skin of the animal. And they are also providing us wool, like sheep. The sheep are there, which is providing wool for us. So with that hair of the sheep, we make woolen clothes and so on. And insects like bees provide us honey. So I hope all of you like honey, isn't it? So it is coming from a small creature, small flying creature called honeybee. They are working hard and producing this honey, and we are enjoying that honey. Then help us in pollination of flowers. So another thing is the pollination. When the cultivation is taking place, the pollination should take place. Mixing of the flowers. The flower that is done mostly by these small flying creatures. So if they are not doing it, then we will not have good harvest. All the paddy and everything will be charged. So we are grateful that these small creatures, they move from flower to flower for the process of searching for flower to make honey. They move from flower to flower and make it happen, the pollination. That is how we get good harvest. And have an important role to play as decomposers in the ecosystem. Another thing that some of this wildlife they are doing, especially the microorganisms, small worms and so on, they are also acting as a decomposers. If one rat is dying and laying down on the ground, after a few days you will find it is no more there. It gets rotten and it becomes part of the soil, isn't it? So it is decomposed. We say it is decomposed. It has become part of the soil. Then how it has happened? It is because of this small worms. They are making it part of the soil. They are helping to decompose that animal. Whether sometimes it may be a tree falling down. After a few years we find that tree is no more there. It is completely rotten and become part of the soil. So it is decomposed. So small creatures, the microorganisms, they are helping to decompose this. Then the birds feed on insects and act as decomposers as well. So there are a lot of birds are there and they eat these worms and they are also acting as a decomposers. Then vulture, due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. So another big animal, the bird, vulture. So what is the food of the vulture? It is eating or it is surviving by eating the dead animals. So its food is the dead animal. It does not kill others, but mostly it will search for dead animal body and it will eat it. So that is helpful for us. The vulture is getting its food and it is cleaning the surrounding. If there is a rat, dead rat, it will be laying down and smelling, is it not? So if a vulture sees it, it will take it go and it will clean the surrounding. So a vulture is helping us as a Scavenger. Scavenger means collecting all the useless things. So the dead body is useless for us, but for the vulture it is a food. So it will take it and eat it. So it will clean our area. So vulture, we can say it is a cleanser of the environment, cleaning the environment. And so the animals may be big or small, all are integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. So very often we think that big animals are important, small animals are not important. So it may be a small worm, it may be a small ant, it may be the big bird, vulture, or it may be the big animal, elephant. So it may be big or small, but everyone has got its own part, its own important in this ecosystem. So some are doing the cleansing, some are doing the for the decomposing of the dead lives, maybe trees or animals. So they have got everyone has got their own task to keep this ecosystem going ahead. So if you completely destroy one group of animals, then their duty nobody will be performing and the balance of the ecosystem will be in balance. So we need to make sure that we do not destroy the organisms there or the lives there, whether they are small or big, whether maybe because of our ignorance sometimes. So we must learn that everyone has got an important role to play in the ecosystem, and every animal, every creature is very important. And there's a little note about the vultures. You can see here in your textbook. It is the vulture. There is a photo of vulture as well. Let's see what is the news about vulture. So vultures in the Indian subcontinent were dying of kidney failure shortly after scavenging livestock treated with diclofenac, a painkiller that is similar to aspirin and ibuprofen. So the doctors said, or doctors found that the vultures living in this Indian subcontinent, that is in India, Sri Lanka, all these countries that are near to India, that is they are dying. The many vultures are dying due to kidney failure. Their kidney is failed, they are getting kidney sickness and they are dying. And the doctors found out because they are eating dead body which was treated with diclofenac, a painkiller. So some animals were getting sick and the owners were giving them medicine for treatment. What medicine they were giving? They were giving a painkiller which is called diclofenac. And so these animals, after eating this medicine, they still die. And these scavenger vultures go and eat their dead body, and these vultures get sick. Their kidney is affected. So which is because of this chemical that was, or this medicine that was given to this animal, that is not good for the health of vultures. So efforts are on to ban the drug for livestock use. So government is taking initiative to ban this drug. This drug should not be used should not be given to animals because it is very harmful for the kidney. Even the animals are dying. When the animals are dying, the vultures eat their body and the vultures are also dying. And therefore this is a very serious thing, that it is affecting the life of the animals, and surely it will affect the human beings as well. Therefore, government is trying to ban this medicine, not to use this medicine anymore. And breed vultures in captivity, and the government is trying. So a lot of vultures are dead and gone because of eating this medicine. So government is trying to create vulture or breed vulture to produce more vultures in the captivity, in the zoo and so on. So if you give them freedom, they'll go and eat this dead body of these animals that have eaten this diclofenac, the medicine, and their kidney will be affected and after a few days or few months they will die. Then there will be no more vultures found. So government is trying to keep them safe in some safe place and trying to bring multiply in large numbers. That is what government is trying to do. So we shall wind up for today, and thank you for listening. We'll meet you again in the next day. Until then, bye.